They still. Welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast for June 8th, 2019.
Today we're talking Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Google released details about Google Stadia. We'll let you know what it is.
Swampthing off to a great start.
And the Russo brothers are at it with a new project on Netflix. We'll let you know what it is.
Stay tuned.
So close.
So close. You were almost there. Hi,
So
everybody, and welcome to the Barrel Roll
Almost like I
Newscast.
do it intentionally.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the big show. Don't do it intentionally.
Why?
That's a bad idea.
Why? I get that reaction every time.
Every time.
Only you. Only you.
No,
Brian
him
does
and,
it too.
The two of them
Right.
have teamed up against me, my sanity.
The secret is just to not care.
Too late.
The more reaction I get, the better.
Welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast, where we talk about games, or not games we play,
Games.
news, movie news, TV news, all that nerd
Nerds,
news.
nerd
He's already
things.
frazzled.
Nerd things. You've broken
We
him.
broke him.
And the show's done.
I'm Nick.
I'm Tony.
Of course.
And the show's done.
And that's it.
And
And out.
Cut.
Getting to the news, big stuff this week for
Pokemon.
most of us at least, because we're mostly all Pokemon people. I know you're in the
On the
zone
fence.
of like you can
You're
wait
on
for
it.
things.
You're
I
in
sit
it.
on the fence all the time. But
You're in
I
on
know.
it. You're in on it.
You're in on it though. Like it's.
Yeah, but I
it's
haven't
like,
done that in a while.
You're not.
I do that
I
once a
haven't
day
done
most
Let's Go
of
in a
the
while.
Wait till wait till let's sleep.
I'm
Or
gonna
let's
I'm gonna sleep with my
sleep
Pokemon
so
so
hard.
hard.
No,
my
because it's
Pokemon?
not gonna like my sleeping habits. So.
Oh, I know. It's all that
not
app's
gonna
gonna
like
do
it.
is yell at me.
What
Why aren't you sleeping with your Pikachu anymore?
You've had 6 hours of sleep. What's wrong with you?
Catch my
Go to
Pokemon
bed.
sleep.
Yeah.
It's like telling you at 12, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Uninstall app.
Just repeatedly over and over again.
Uninstall.
It's
keeps
just
reinstalling
overly
itself.
elaborate sleep app.
Yeah.
For Pokemon.
Either way, Pokemon Sword and Shield Direct came out.
Yes, we had the what did they call last week? The investors meeting, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, we had the weird investors meeting.
Which
thing.
didn't have any Sword and Shield, but we knew that because they said they were going to do the Sword and Shield full reveal on Wednesday this week.
Yep.
And guess what? It's Pokemon. Holy crap! Like, there's a lot in this game.
So
The first big thing, no pun intended.
yeah, the Dynamaxing
no
of
pun
Pokemon.
So Dynamaxing Pokemon looks like the Z move equivalent, the
Yeah.
Mega Evolution equivalent of Sword and Shield. What happens is your Pokemon become
A
Godzilla
kaiju.
size.
Yeah, it's a
Godzilla
kaiju.
size.
Yeah, they kaiju.
They Godzilla size your
For
Pokemon.
3 turns,
For 3 turns,
once a battle.
once per battle, like a Z move, like
Yeah.
a Mega Evolution.
The cool thing I think about Dynamaxing is any Pokemon can do it, as far as we know.
I'm gonna do my Wailord
Well, but that was the nice piece, because
see.
like
just to see what happens.
like Z moves were specific Pokemon.
Z moves were specific to the moves on the Pokemon.
Correct. The
Mega Evolution.
Mega Evolutions was
were
very specific to the Pokemon.
Right.
This is now like okay,
Everyone can Dynamax.
right? Like so, whatever you're
Essentially.
fighting with, Dynamax them and go.
So when I Dynamax my little Emolga, it's gonna become normal size.
Yeah.
Because it's already a small little.
Yeah. So that's the cool factor for me is that the
And-
strategy of Dynamaxing fits better for me than everything else because everyone.
It
can
actually
do
makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
because now every Pokemon can be a little bit more viable.
Yeah, and all their moves,
Presumably.
and all
We
their
don't-
moves
we're not-
juice up.
Yeah, so moves turn into the max versions of those moves.
Yep, which is
So
nice.
it's very similar to the Z Crystal move
Yep.
effect.
Except
where
now you again get
all
to
of
choose
them-
between all four.
all 4 moves become a different type of move. So like a grass type move will become Max Seed or something like that. Whatever.
Sure, Max Razor Leaf.
Sure, whatever it is. But like they all turn into that. So it seems a little bit more consistent.
Yeah.
than Z Moves was.
The wild zone now instead
the wild
of
area.
Roots, I guess.
We're not sure. I'm not sure yet.
From what we've kind of seen, that looks like what they're doing.
So I think the wild area might be the equivalent of a bigger Safari Zone.
And if that's the case, that's cool.
So it'll be a bigger Safari Zone. It'll be a 4-player online cooperative area that you can play with others online.
Raid Pokemon.
Where you can take they stole the idea from Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
With raid battles, where you can find not wild per se, but max raid battles is the technical term for that, where you and 3 other people basically take on one Dynamax Pokemon for the. And while it's more than just the 3 turns for that Pokemon, so
it's constant for that Pokemon, and only one of the 4 can Dynamax for 3 turns.
I'm so confused. I'm so concerned over that, because it's like, if I'm playing with 3 randos online,
can we play with randos, or is it only friends?
Don't know
if
yet.
it's friends, it's easy.
I would assume friends,
but it's gonna be both. I think they're allowing both randos and friends.
So we'll see, because if it's randos, everybody's gonna race to be that first person to Dynamax.
But
otherwise,
I think it doesn't. As long as they balance the rewards, it shouldn't be too bad, because as long as everyone has an opportunity to catch that Pokemon,
I think everybody has an opportunity to catch.
So that's not that bad.
It's just you're supposed to strategize as to like, oh, I sent out my Graveler and we are fighting a Pikachu, like a Dynamax Pikachu.
I'm gonna Dynamax my fish Pokemon.
Right, like then someone's just being a moron.
Go Dynamax Goldeen.
And my only thing with randos is, without proper voice chat, how do you make that work?
Right.
Because then you can't communicate.
And we all know how reliable that Nintendo Switch online app is. I love great.
The
it's
online
so
app.
You mean the Splatoon 2 app?
No, there's Smash Bros in it now, yo.
Oh, did they update it with Smash Brothers? Well, I don't online, so. Well, I won't be onlining until November anyway.
I think I uninstalled it. No, I got it. We're good. I just took it off my home screen. Yes, there are now two game specific.
Where's ARMS
services?
Where's ARMS?
ARMS is such a disappointing.
Where's Mario Kart? Where's Mario Kart?
And again, Mario Kart, but yeah, the Super Smash Bros.
When ARMS came out.
I know, but Super Smash Bros. Didn't launch on this thing. Like, it's now part of it. But
yes, they've ingrained it a little bit more.
Like Super Smash Bros. Now, it's like spirits and posts, and you can also look at like levels that people have created. You
can download them.
You can download them, and you can look at replays and all of this stuff. So
it's better. But my problem with, I need Nintendo to really fix their online piece.
Correct.
Like, they need to improve it.
Especially if they want us to play with random people. Like, playing something like Dauntless works, because, you know...
Yeah, Dauntless is quick and easy, but the thing with Pokemon is that there's a heck of a lot of strategy. With one person.
I would assume it would just be based off speed again. How fast. So
correct, but
if I say... the first person who does... You have the fastest Pokemon, you do the Dynamax
but
first.
But that's not the problem. The issue... The issue is that I want to make sure that we're strategizing, we have a well-balanced team. If we all go in with electric Pokemon and it's a Graveler, we're going to have a bad time.
Right. That's the piece of flaw. And again, like if you go against a Graveler and someone
do you know what you're going against though all the time, or is it going to be random?
Sure.
No, we don't see. I don't know.
Again, there's just a light coming from the sky.
It's like a beacon.
Yeah.
It's just like a beacon.
So then it'd be random anyway. If it's random, it doesn't
I'm sure when an encounter starts, it'll start like this is a tier 1, tier 2, tier 4, tier 5.
So we'll see.
Raid, and so we can get a better idea of like, okay, even though our team isn't quite balanced. Yeah. It's a level 1. We should be able to roll this anyways.
Yeah, the gym battles are set up too for Dynamaxing, so
yes.
like
it's actually
big football stadium-esque type places.
It's actually very prominent. Let's talk about Pokemon encounters and how excited I am that they basically kept the mechanic in from Let's Go.
But then Pokemon. So exactly what we were talking about with...
It's basically the best of both worlds.
You see them roam.
It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
It's literally the best of both worlds. You'll see them roaming around in the world.
They're still tall grass, so if you don't see them, like they can still sneak up on you, and all of a sudden it's like you get the exclamation mark, and all of a sudden you're in a fight.
It's literally the best of both worlds.
It is. It's perfect. So
it is what everyone wanted.
My only thing with that wild area...
So is it catching the same then as Let's Go?
Yeah, no, it's the regular.
I'm assuming. Battle them.
Yeah,
so far from what someone caught a screenshot of the UI, and it's really basic, but it looks
the
like
same 4 options.
Battle this item, press button,
run.
Let's Go is just.
Yeah, Let's Go's that features will be exclusive to the Let's Go series wherever they do more down the line, which I think they will anyways. But
you know what? If they kept the motion piece but guaranteed that the ball would hit,
who knows?
We'd be if you just wanted to like as a motion control, like easy quality of life thing, like flick your switch and you'll just throw a Pokeball. That's one thing, but
I think I'm okay with just pressing the button.
There's people online that are still that are kind of pissed off, and they're like, or not pissed off, but surprised. They're like, they can make Pokemon work on a single screen system, and I'm like,
have they always have?
Yes, well, no, because when it went to the 3DS and the 2DS, we got like moves on the bottom screen and all that.
But Pokemon came from
Game Boy, and I'm like,
that was only one screen, and it was one screen all the way up until Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, like all the way through to. Yeah, and I'm sitting there going like,
and here's
confused.
And here's the thing, like about that, it's a nicer screen. It's a bigger screen now. You can fit a lot more stuff
on. Or on a TV.
Or on a TV. You can fit a lot of stuff. Ever played XD Gale of Darkness?
Yeah, no.
They got a lot of room on that.
Ago. But that's what I mean. Like I just laughed where they're like, well, it looks like they are making it work on like a single screen, and I'm like, it started on a single screen, dum-dums.
I was never worried about that.
No, that was never a concern of mine.
No.
I'm like, oh, I never even thought about losing that second screen. It was nice. Now that I think about it,
I think my expectations will be more so if when they have it on the touchscreen, then I should be able to touch it.
From the UI, it looks like they're almost slide out things, so I don't think you'll be touching stuff. It just looks like you'll ding 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 boom boom, and maybe the moves. I don't know,
but that's my expectation because that makes it a little bit more efficient.
Quality of life. Yeah,
it's much more efficient than pressing buttons.
My only concern is that Wild Zone is going to be like the only.
I don't think it
zone, and that's the only piece.
Taking a look at the map that they've released, it's bigger than that. I think the Wild Zone is their first. Like they wanted to show off the multiplayer piece,
right?
Is my understanding.
So that was my thing where I'm like,
there's gonna be regular areas that maybe who knows, maybe the entire thing is the Wild Zone, and there still is routes. Yeah. It's just called the Wild Zone.
Yeah. But that's my thing is like I'm hoping the Wild Zone is much bigger because again that was one of those things someone brought up where they're like depending on the time of day and the weather and all of that stuff you'll find different Pokemon in the Wild Zone, and I'm like that's cool, but if the Wild Zone's only the size of Hyrule Field, like I got an issue. If it's the whole map like the routes we're cool and I'm down I love weather effects.
We'll see what it is. I think
weather effects are great.
Yeah. So I think you're gonna see a lot more.
I think so.
Like this is just
I think so.
Literally like a snippet of what this game is going to provide, especially if any of the leaks were true. Seeing how most of these leaks were true a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
The other big minor quality of life improvement, 3D camera controls finally in a Pokemon game. Like so, you think about when the last time there was 3D camera controls in a Pokemon game.
Gale of Darkness.
No,
that was static.
Yeah, exactly. This is the first game to have actual control over your camera to find, especially if there's gonna be wild Pokemon to
correct. You have to be able to look up and down and around because there was like a Butterfree up in the sky.
Yeah, there's gonna be in the sky. There's gonna be in the water everywhere.
So that's the other piece is we have to have a way of attracting Pokemon towards us now too.
Oh, I'm sure that'll. Guess what? They made that mechanic in Pokemon Go.
But that's my piece. It's like all of a sudden, if there is a Butterfree, like how do you get Butterfree's attention?
We don't know yet because they haven't really talked about any of them.
Caterpie, and then I'll evolve them up to it. But.
Well, I get that, but if you're gonna fight them to like gain experience or whatever,
or just to catch, or even if
you just want to catch the Caterpie, or not a Caterpie, but a Butterfree, or a Pidgey. Let's say a Pidgey's flying overhead. How does one like? Do you pitch a rock at it, or
do you not?
Yes.
Honestly,
But that's the cool piece.
They haven't really talked about a lot of the transportation stuff. The only thing that they've shown off is the bike.
Really. And we saw the crow picking up that taxi thing.
Yeah. So the crow, that's one of the new Pokemon, is Corviknight.
Corviknight. He looks so cool.
He's pretty badass.
Nick wants a Corviknight.
I gotta laugh because he's a flying steel type.
Yeah.
And there's already a flying steel type bird Pokemon, which does not get any love. And now Corviknight's like, what up? I'm the new steel flying type bird.
Because he looks way more badass.
It's a little bit badass. Skarmory's cool.
Skarmory's okay.
Skarmory's pretty cool.
He's not a crow with armor.
Skarmory's just, getting the shot. I like Skarmory for what he was, but,
this crow thing's cool. We got
let's be honest. The internet kind of exploded over Wooloo.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with the internet. That thing is awesome.
Well, and the funniest part is like... They gave us a sheep guy. Like, it looks like a sheep. They didn't even do... They gave it, like, mutton chops almost.
The mutton chops, whatever, like, braids.
Little braids, yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Like, that's it. It's a sheep with braids.
The description... Its description is just the greatest description ever. If it senses conflict or anger or anything like that, it just rolls into a ball and rolls away. That's literally its description. I'm just like, oh, that's the internet's gonna have a field day with this. They're just gonna love the shit out of this thing.
Oh, and they do. They're loving that one. We got
Jaw Craw or something. Or
yeah,
it's rock. Water type. Yeah, water rock type.
Jog or not something stupid.
Yeah, well,
the name worked.
Chichimanga.
Right? The name worked, but
yeah, I'm excited to see more Pokemon.
Yeah, me too. Because the guy who was actually they showed the designer in the video of like one of the art designers, and he really seemed to grasp.
He understands what makes Pokemon so special.
Right, because all of those Pokemon that came out, I'm like, oh, that one's cute. Oh, that one's this. Oh, that one's that.
And they seem unique. They don't seem like a throwaway like Vanillux.
Yeah.
Like a freaking ice cream cone.
Yeah, they seem to be really trying to put
the designs forward.
The design effort into this game. Like, we're back to regular gym battles from what we can see so far.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that there's like a stadium with people that cheer and all
Again,
that
we'll see more. There's probably going to be at least one more direct between now and November. At least one more.
Yeah. But they've gone back to basics for a lot of stuff, but to focus on design for this, which is what they had to do because the 3DS games had a lot of lag.
Oh yeah, there was a hardware issue with that thing.
Like they
to
tried to push it too hard
to the point where they had to turn off the 3D for 90% of the game.
Yeah, so they pushed it too hard instead of scaling back somewhere and doing that. Like the art direction for this really seems to be where they focused, whereas gameplay it's like Dynamaxing, cool, but really basic. Like make them bigger, make them stronger for 3 turns, and that's kind of it's
that flashy style.
It's flashy and it's quick, and then it's done.
I'm excited to see what this does for Pokemon VGC, the competitive aspect.
Sure.
Because I've dabbled in it. I know the lengths and depths that those players go through, and I think that this is a mechanic that they're going to really, really enjoy. Especially if it's so limiting as it's like a 3-turn thing. It's more than just a Mega Evolution.
And you're not limiting your team to specifically have, like Mega Charizard or this or that. It's like, I can have my team.
They might have to hold a max stone or something. We don't know quite yet how that mechanic works.
I would assume there'd be some sort of limit.
But it's once per battle. And
but like in terms of like you need to hold an item or it needs to be a certain level. Or
I think it would be nice if you could just
who knows?
Hit the button. And maybe a level thing, but in a tournament that's not going to really.
It's not going to make a huge difference. No. They've revealed the 2 new legendary Pokemon, which both look awesome, and they're the best boys.
All right, go with awesome.
I love them.
Isn't one a dog?
They're both dogs. One's got a sword, and the other one's face is
a shield.
Just the shield.
Zamazenta and Zachi.
Hey guys!
I haven't seen
that
one. Yeah.
So Zamazenta is if I'm correct, it's the shield one.
Okay.
And Zaxian is the one with the sword in the mouth.
I think
both look awesome.
I think what killed it for me was the subpar, 3D animation thing we got.
Yeah, but that wasn't going to be part of the game. Anyway.
I know it's not, but that was they're announcing them with this 3D video, and I'm like, oh, that's okay.
They did that with Xerneas and.
I know, but that's kind of I'm like that was compared to everything else.
I'm super okay with that.
I'm I would have liked to see them in game, even if they just popped out for 2 seconds. I know they won't, but my piece is like.
But what types are they?
Presumably steel and something right now. They haven't really talked about the typing, but it'll probably be steel.
Everything's steel now?
Well, because last time Lunala and Solgaleo were psychic type, along with a different typing.
And the fact that these guys are sword and shield.
It's a high chance that they're going to be steel.
Everything's
steel / something.
More steel type Pokemon. Yeah, no. Generally, they look really cool. It's just that original video. I'm like,
my wife and I are just like, oh crap, we got to get her a Switch now.
And Nintendo Online. I mean,
yeah, but we have a way around that one.
Well, everybody does, but that's.
We'll worry about that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I think the big thing is
Tetris 99.
I think the big thing is we're looking at bundles right now.
Waiting to see what.
And Monday will be the big tell of if there's going to be a bundle for Sword and Shield, because obviously they don't want to bundle Sword and Shield with an old Switch. They want to do it with a presumably new piece of hardware that they may or may not announce on Monday.
Yeah, either way, we're going to find on Monday if there's a bundle for
Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield.
I suspect it'll be a new hardware, because they wouldn't want to bundle with old hardware.
If they've got new hardware coming out. If they don't have new hardware
then
coming out, then you're going to get a bundle announcement. Either way, you're getting a bundle announcement.
Yeah,
So,
bundles
November 15th is the date. 1 week after Death Stranding.
So you have a week to play Death Stranding.
I'm going to play both. I'll just do both.
We won't see Tony for a while.
2 games.
As his eyes explode.
Learn to split the eyes.
Yeah.
Man, I'm only gonna
Not inside.
I'm only gonna get half a
can't
Kojima game. I don't think I could do. I already have problems when I have a full Kojima game.
Your choice.
So yes.
So that's the big things there. There is a double pack, so I'm not sure the direction we're gonna go with it.
If you get a bundle, then that's one thing.
If you get the bundle, it's one thing. But if there's no bundle, then we're just gonna
buy the double pack.
Yeah, buy the double pack most likely, because those usually end up being like $10 cheap.
Right, you're gonna save money on one of the games.
So either way, we're not worried about it. It's not until November, obviously, so it's not a big deal. And that's basically it.
I like talking to Brian. I want the one with Sandshrew. There might not be Sandshrew in this game. I want the one with Sandshrew. I never get the one with Sandshrew, and I always want Sandshrew.
Oh yeah, you didn't get Let's Go.
Yeah,
I did.
But that was like that's where I'm just laughing because he's like, I want Sandshrew.
Tell me where Sandshrew is.
Yeah. Tell me which game has a Sandshrew in it, and that's the one I'm getting.
Just get the bundle.
Does he not even want Alolan Sandshrew?
I don't think he cares.
I don't know if he cares, but it's every Pokemon game that he's gotten has always been
maybe he didn't
the opposite one that does not have Sandshrew.
Yes, that's another Pokemon that will be exclusive, I think, to one or the other this time around.
If they have,
they would be silly not to.
Do we know? And obviously, like I haven't seen anything but regional variants, I guess, for the Pokemon.
So there are, if the leaks are true, there was a really big leak a couple of weeks ago, I think on Reddit, and this guy basically...
Probably 4chan to Reddit.
Probably 4chan to Reddit. And the guy literally name-dropped all these new features, like the Wild Zone, Dynamaxing.
He knew it was coming.
Yeah, like... He has the uncle in Nintendo.
Yeah.
He has the uncle in Nintendo.
Uncle works for Nintendo, and you're gonna get banned forever.
Well, yeah, exactly. Believe me.
Yeah.
And so if the rest of his rumors are true, it looks like there is going to be at least a new evolution for Farfetch'd.
Oh.
It's called Surfetch'd.
All right.
Because it's a British London
top hat and monocle.
Yeah, he's gonna be very, very professional.
Good day,
and
sir.
as I read
top of the morning to you.
As I read that, I was like, I need that right now. Surfetch'd. He's so formal.
Because that was my...
There's other things. There's another mechanic called Gigantamaxing.
So do you go bigger than Kaiju? Super Kaiju?
Don't know.
Mega Godzilla?
Don't know.
I didn't
really read his entire leak. I just kind of...
glanced?
Yeah, I just kind of skimmed it. I didn't want to read everything.
Because I did love the regional... evolutions or regional variants.
Yeah, like the Alolan versions.
Yeah, like that felt more like adaptation.
I suspect that there's going to be more of that.
Yeah, I would love more.
I think that played up very, very well. That everyone loved that. Either the video games, card game, Pokemon Go. Everyone loved the Alolan variants.
Well, because it's a nice refresh of
older Pokemon.
Right.
Like it totally makes sense.
And one of my coworkers, he goes, "You liked that?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." And he's like, "But some of it made no sense." And I'm like, "None of Pokemon makes sense." And I'm like, and he's like, "The rat got like a mustache." And I'm like, "Because he came out at night, so he was now a gangster. So he has the gangster mustache." Yeah. And he goes, "You're going with that, are you?" And I'm like,
"No, that's literally it.
That's what it was."
So that was literally it.
I'm like, "You're looking too like
literal."
Well, no, he's like, I'm like, you're thinking that Pokemon is a serious like.
You can't just put one set out and then just forget the rest.
But that's where I just laughed. I'm like, you're there's an ice cream cone, dude. There's Chandelure. There's a Chandelier Pokemon.
There's Gears.
Yeah, like
there's Gears. It's 3 Pokemon.
Squirtle, Turtle, Squirtle. Like
don't look into it.
The fact that there's a dark Rattata because he comes out at night and now he's gangsterish. Like that's the whole point.
You didn't have a problem with the white Vulpix?
Well, that made sense because it moved to the mountains and became ice. Like, for him, that made sense.
Then that's the same logic.
But he didn't get why it got, like, the gangster mustache because it only comes out at night. He's like, that's kind of... And I'm like, the other one evolves into, like, a godfather. Like...
Yeah, it becomes chubby.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the whole point, is they made them gangster Pokemon, essentially. And he's
like it's...
Yeah, right. Only because it comes out at night. And I'm like, specifically because it comes out at night. Like,
and it does only come out at night.
Yeah.
It really does. If you play... Ultra Sun.
So it was just funny because that's what bugged him was the Rattata with a mustache, and I'm like the ex-executor with like the giant neck, and he goes, "And why is it a dragon?" And I'm like, "Why not?
Why not? Why the heck not?"
And I'm like, "Don't ask questions when it comes to Pokemon."
Yeah, like
man.
don't look into it.
Like,
The thing about Pokemon is you just have to enjoy it for face value.
Yes.
Trust that they know what they're doing because 99% of the time they're
pretty good at it.
Yeah.
And then we get an ice cream cone.
Eat gears. Cling, clang.
Cling, clang.
Cling, clang, and I don't remember what that.
You gotta have garbage if you're gonna,
Garbodor. They did make Garbodor. Trubbish and Garbodor. They did. You're not wrong.
Did.
They're not wrong. They did make garbage. It is not hot. It is partly hot garbage.
Slightly.
Moving on.
Cool.
Moving on to other. It's E3, guys. Things are coming out for E3.
We'll talk about that.
Google is the next.
It'll be a next week talk.
It'll be a next week talk. I won't be here for that. But,
Maybe.
Google.
Nick can do it on his own.
Do it myself.
E3. Google Stadia.
Yes.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago. Google came out and kind of said we're putting our ring in the hat.
The really cool
doing
streaming
gaming.
service of yes.
We're doing gaming, and so they announced their pricing, their details, when we're gonna expect to get it.
Yeah.
So let's start with the good stuff. In my opinion, good stuff. It's coming out this year in Canada.
Yes.
Especially along with 14 other countries, which is great.
Did they set a date?
November 2019.
Everything.
November
2019. You can, if you're interested, there's 2 price points for it. There's the basic Stadia, which is coming out in 2020, but right now they only are offering a Google Stadia Pro. So that is
take a step back.
Right, and so the pricing on it is very strange right now. If you want to buy into the Google Stadia right now, you can totally do that. I think it's like $169.
$169.
You get a Chromecast Ultra,
which you need.
Some form of Chrome. It doesn't have to be the Ultra, but
no, they said it had to be Ultra.
No, only if you want the 4K game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Only if you want the 4K.
Yeah, I think I remember something about that.
Right. So the Founders Edition is at $169. You get the Chromecast Ultra, you get the controller, and you get a 3-month subscription to Google or Stadia Pro. Now, Stadia Pro, what makes that different from the basic version is that you get to, if your internet's fast enough, you can stream 4K games.
Yes.
And you will also have a select amount of games that will be offered to you as free.
Yes.
Free.
As long as
you're sub to Google Stadia Pro. So the first game that they're talking about is Destiny 2, which is great. Good idea. Sure. I mean, it's a live game. There's gonna be a ton of people playing it. It's a really good idea.
Yeah, but
it's a good way to get people playing that game.
Yeah, but enough people play it on other systems. Why would you switch over to another system just to play that game?
And so that's the leading into the not as exciting parts of it. You can transfer your character over, I think, from at least PC and Xbox right now.
That's what they
PS4 will be. You can transfer your character.
You can't.
You can't right now.
Well, it's not surprising. That's PlayStation.
Right, but they said they are in talks to do it. They're getting that ready. So, but the other sort of about this is that even if you are subbed to Stadia Pro, you still have to buy games.
Yes.
You still have to buy, like, for example, Mortal Kombat 11 is one of the other big games that they announced for it. And so you need to pay $70 or $80 or whatever it is to purchase that game to play it.
So
and so the advantage of it is that you can stream it at 4K.
Which doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't make a difference for a lot of people at the moment.
No, but you can stream it, which is part of it.
But the thing is, like, when it comes in 2020, when the basic service comes around and you have purchased it, you can still stream it. You only get it upwards of 1080p.
Sure.
And here's the exactly. And here's the other problem with that. And someone did the math on this. I think they streamed 65 hours of Assassin's Creed Origins or Odyssey, yes, the most recent one. They streamed 65 hours, and it seems like a reasonable amount for that kind of a game. You can put a lot of hours in it. In 1 hour or 65 hours, they racked up 1 terabyte.
Sure, it's gonna 4K is still 4K.
So I mean, not all of us have infinite internet yet. So it's kind of one of those things that that's a lot of hours to sunk in. And not to mention, even if you do have unlimited internet, what if your internet provider goes like, oh, you're using like a couple 2 terabytes later, they're gonna look at you kind of awkwardly.
There's still nothing they can do if you're paying for unlimited and
correct,
whatever. But
correct, but like that's gonna be, they're gonna look at the internet providers are gonna look at their services and be like, shit, we need to charge more for this kind of stuff.
Sure.
And so and again, that leads back to the other point is you still have to purchase these games to play them on Google Stadia. And it's not like they're any cheaper, it sounds like. It looks like they're the same price.
No, they'll be the same price. So
it'll be the same price as if it was on Steam, if it was on PlayStation or Xbox.
I think my biggest thing is being a new product and how Google likes to drop things.
Yes.
That's the biggest piece here.
So if you buy it and then like 5 years down the road, I can no longer play Mortal Kombat 11 or
right,
5, or I can no longer play Dragon Ball Z. I can't play Dragon Ball Z Fighters or something like that. Right?
Yeah, so that's the pieces. Like Steam, I know
it's
pretty much good.
Steam is good. Epic will stay around.
Epic's gonna stick around now. PlayStation stuff, like,
PlayStation, Xbox, those will probably never leave.
Like Nintendo, same thing. We're good. Like
right.
I can download.
Like Google
those.
has a history.
Yes.
Of shutting down services.
And again, the streaming piece.
They're not great on that.
The streaming piece is the other part. Like Steam, if Steam was like, we are shutting down, I can go nuts and start downloading
all the games, right?
Everything.
Exactly. And that works contradictory to the appeal of Google Stadia is that you don't have to
download anything.
Which is great. But yeah, exactly. Like, what if the service goes down, or what if there's a maintenance or something like that, and I don't want to play my game?
Yeah, that would follow along the same lines as Xbox, so that's what they're doing is streaming with the new system.
Yes, but Microsoft has that repertoire of like, we're not going to really drop it.
Not that they're going to drop it, but it's still a streaming. So if their system goes down, you can't play a game.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the system going down itself. It's more Google will go like, we have this great new product, and you're like, cool.
5 years
and
later.
you use it for 2 years, and then they're like, BT dubs. It's now YouTube gaming, and everything you've purchased may or may not switch over. And then there'll be this like 2-year transitionary period where nothing works well on Stadia and nothing works well on the other platform. Yeah. So you're stuck in this weird limbo. And then all of a sudden, like year 5, both of them shut down.
Google is great with experimenting with stuff.
Yes. But they really have to then sell that product to someone else and let someone else take it. Like that's my only fear with Stadia, that's why I was hoping for a subscription service. Because if I paid $12 a month or $20 a month and I can play whatever they have on the service.
I think that library needs to be more than just Destiny 2.
Well,
we'll get an Ubisoft something. I bet you anything this coming week with E3, Ubisoft's going to go. Assassin's Creed will be available.
Yeah. I honestly think they need to
play live on Stadia.
I honestly think Google Stadia and Google needs to do the next step, and they need to acquire developers to make games exclusively for Stadia so that they can guarantee people. How crazy would it be if Death Stranding became a Stadia exclusive? Like how many people would sign up to Stadia, myself included, just to play that damn game?
I think my coworker had
that level that they need to do.
My coworker had the right idea where he's a PC guy, doesn't own a console, so for him to buy a Chromecast,
cheap.
And again, you don't need that specific Stadia controller. You can use
any controller
that hooks up to the system, which they're working on making sure like Switch controllers attached to the damn thing.
But the only advantage is you get with the Stadia
controller, you get all the easy buttons.
Well, not the easy buttons, but it connects directly to your game over the internet. It's not going through your TV and into the internet. Yeah. So it cuts out that middle piece.
Yeah. So that's the piece is like he's like, so for $170 I'm set up, and anything that my PC can't run I could buy for Stadia and it would work. And I'm like, that's exactly it. Is you're going to take that game that you want to look gorgeous, and it's going to look gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Like me playing, like I played some Black Ops 4, dealing with all the settings and trying to find like that perfect mode of it still runs at a good clip because it's a shooter, and it also looks good on a computer. Can be a fun game.
And I think
if I'm playing off Stadia, the graphics, like, there's no graphics option, right? Like, there is a graphics 1080 option. Or 4K.
I think that what you're thinking of is more ingrained into the game. You can probably change it in, and we don't know.
But I'm never gonna go like I'm gonna lower the resolution and I'm not gonna do that because the game should technically, according to Google, run at 60 frames because it's running off of their stuff,
yes.
not mine. So that's what, like, he's sitting there going, like, I wouldn't have to worry about, you know, the next Witcher game or Cyberpunk 2099 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because that game will look gorgeous.
And I don't have to melt my computer.
And my computer's not, like, you know.
He's not going to just...
So he's like, that part I totally get, and I'm like, I dig that.
But it's just, I think that needs to be more testing done in this. Because they did that light beta test with Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
It feels like it's backwards.
It's weird. I don't know.
It's a very strange concept. I think if it's
a new concept.
And if it does take off,
yes,
it's going to set the gaming world.
But that's the problem. Wasn't there a system that came out not too long ago that just recently failed?
Yeah, the Ouya.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, the Ouya.
I mean, it's really hard to break into the
environment. The problem with the Ouya was...
There was a lot of things wrong with
the
Ouya.
the biggest problem with Ouya was it pretty much played
Android
app games. So you were playing it's like, you can play Angry Birds on your TV, and I'm like, who wants to play Angry Birds on their television?
Who wants to play Angry Birds?
People do, but it's like same with like Candy Crush or any of those. Exactly. You can play those on your TV, and I'm like, but those are specifically...
You can play Flappy Bird on my TV!
Those are specifically mobile games. The cool part with Stadia is legitimately they're coming out of the gate with Destiny, and obviously like they've shown us Assassin's Creed.
They have a huge list. It's more than just like fighting games.
It'd be along the same lines as what Tony was saying with the exclusive zone.
Like I honestly,
there's no reason for me to get that new system to play games I can already play on my current system.
But that's the thing. You have a system. Google.
Their aim is to get people that do not have a system.
Yes.
That's terrible because most households now have systems.
Either an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Or even a Switch.
Switch. Yeah, but again, your Switch is not going to give you the graphic horsepower of this thing. Essentially what they're doing is going, here is a console for $170 that's going to look better than your current gen system.
But see, I'm not.
And will keep up with, but it'll keep up with whatever your PlayStation 5 is going to do.
But I think it goes back to your issue of like support.
Correct, and that's where my piece is.
And I totally get that. That's where my concern is, because I don't want to drop $60 down or $70 down on a game, which I can't play for surezies down the road,
right?
Because of Google's spotty reputation.
Right. So that's my piece is, if this lasts, I'm in, because again, for me,
I can't buy into it.
For me, I don't have to buy a PlayStation 5.
And if I'm being honest, I think that the list of free games needs to be a little bit better.
It has to be more robust.
Yes, more than just... You guys play Destiny 2 with each other because you all bought the same thing.
And it will be more robust. I'm guaranteeing this week coming, there's going to be like 3
Witcher
or 4
3
of those
is now on Stadia.
There's going to be 3 or 4 of those companies that come out and go like, oh, you can now play all of, EA Sports games on, Stadia.
Or
with the Pro Pass or whatever they're calling it. But that's my thing. Like, for a PS5 for me, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the PS4. Right. I'm going to wait.
Oh, I'm going to wait for the PS5. Of course I'm going to wait for the PS5. But it's stupid not to wait for the PS5.
I'm not going to get it right away.
I'm not going to get it right away.
That's stupid.
He gets all of them right away. But that's you. I get the Nintendo stuff right away, and I wait for PlayStation to amalgamate a large chunk of games. But now, I can go off my Chromecasts and all of a sudden be playing the newest Assassin's Creed without killing my computer, which needs an upgrade, or not playing it on my, Switch. Mm-hmm. So once my PS4 starts to become like, I'm not getting fresh games, I can switch to Stadia.
You have to also remember, like, you can play this on phones too.
Yep.
Stadia works on phones.
Stadia works on all
which is
the things.
Weird to think about that I can play Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Mortal Kombat or Destiny on a phone.
But I don't want to.
Well, no, but again, I can now take my... It's now the Switch piece of things where I can take my tablet and play, again, Assassin's Creed in bed, which I do with my Switch all the time. Like, I take games and I play in bed. I can now do that with,
PlayStation.
Well, I can do that with my actual PlayStation games, essentially, other than, obviously, God of Wars and exclusives like that. Mm-hmm. But I can all of a sudden take any Stadia game and play. Like, if I want to play Assassin's Creed, I can now play in bed.
Yeah. I hook it up to my phone or a tablet or even the TV in the room or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, move it from here to there and everywhere.
It's a lot more robust than
just plugging into your TV.
Yeah.
But that's my piece is like...
I'm concerned, but I'm excited at the same time.
Yeah, if Google shows good support for the long term, well, at the beginning, no, because I know Google.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to
see wait that
not just past E3, but like for over the next 6 months, kind of monitor what Stadia is doing.
Once it launches, and then see how they're supporting it and updating it. That's going to be the big piece. Is like if you look at Google Play Music, which is something I use, like, and I love Google Play Music. It is simple. It is basic. It does what I need it to do. There all the time you're getting emails going like, "Hey, we're shifting over to YouTube Music," and YouTube Music sucks. Like,
it's not great.
It is horrible. No. You cannot import your own stuff. It wants you to play the music videos instead of just playing the music. Like, I want a music player. I don't need music videos. Yeah.
I'm on Spotify Premium, so I don't.
But that's my thing with like Google is all of a sudden it's like I'm in that period of we're launching this product. So this is the product you're currently using. We're now giving you, so that we're at that moment where they're like, here's your free subscription to YouTube Music. Start using this, please, because this is what we're moving to. And I tried it for, a day trying to go like, okay, I can't import my playlists. I can't, none of it's transitioning over, but they want me to move over, and it's like, no.
Yeah, I don't understand.
And that's Google's way of doing things. That's my biggest concern with Stadia. If they support it, it's going to be wicked.
Yeah. The science behind it, the logic behind it, the concept behind it it is truly next generation.
Never have to buy another console again unless you want exclusives. Never have to update my computer ever again.
Unless they get their own exclusives.
Unless they get their own exclusives.
Like if they get the next...
But their exclusives are going to be 90% junk.
You don't know that yet. Like maybe they're going to... Like maybe Ubisoft will partner a deal with them.
And they might, and then it would be a timed exclusive.
To be like, the next... what's that one? Not Dishonored. For Honor. Like For Honor's follow-up, whatever. It'll be now exclusively to Stadia.
Yeah, that's not a good example.
But like, I'm just saying, like a live service game, something that a lot of people play. If Ubisoft or EA or Epic, if they announce some sort of like exclusive game onto Stadia, that's popular enough, I think that would be that would be the nail in the coffin. I think because as long as they get enough people subbed, it doesn't matter how good the service is or how bad the service is. It shows that people are interested in using it.
I'm not buying into it right now.
Oh no, neither am I. I don't think any of us are. So, other than that.
Look how long it takes me to get to the Switch.
But that's the piece. Like, that's how long it takes me to get a... Like, for me, PlayStation takes a while to get. Because I wait for games to
get a chunk. Wait for a chunk.
Yeah. And that's the piece. Like, I will still buy a Sony PlayStation because I know what I'm going to get, on PlayStation 5. One, I can play with you guys. But the way that cross-platform's starting to go, like,
who knows, right?
that's a piece. But, not just multiplayer, but I'm going to get God of War. I'm going to get Spider-Man. I'm going to get those exclusives. Yeah. So again, the exclusive part is important.
Death Stranding probably
for the consoles.
That's my biggest thing.
But when it comes to, again, I already own the Chromecast. Yes. I already own a PlayStation controller. I can make them function together.
Yes.
So all of a sudden it's like, oh, I want to play that game that's coming out for the PlayStation 5.
Heck, even Apple's doing that too. At their WWDC conference, whatever they announced, they are shipping their new Apple TV OS and Apple TV software, and they announced that the Xbox One controller and the PS4 controller will work with an Apple product officially. Like, it's not like some sort of, you have to install a driver on a controller or whatever. It will straight up just work. Those two controllers will work. And I think that's really cool that Apple's willing to finally pedal back on some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and I think a part of it is them realizing, like, they are late. They are super late to this gaming game. They are super late.
Yeah.
Like, this is them playing catch up.
Well, see, and that's where Google is doing the cool thing of, they are playing catch up. Let's face it.
But they're doing they're doing the most Google thing
they're like, instead of like, okay guys,
making new hardware, they're making new ways.
Like
yeah, like they're thinking,
they're trying to jump the line, which is good. It's what you have to do.
Right. And if in this world of technology. Competition is good because then it forces the hands
everybody else
of
to do
everyone
stuff. Well, it forced Microsoft and Sony to actually
shake a hand in somewhere.
All right, fine.
For the greater good.
But that's kind of why I like Google, because they'll push that, and that's why a lot of times they'll drop stuff. Like you watch Google Fiber. Mm-hmm. They put Google Fiber into that one town in Texas or whatever because all their internet service providers were like, no, we're sticking you with 56K modems, and that's what you get, and you'll be happy with it. And Google's like, you shouldn't be happy with that. Have fiber for like $5. And all of a sudden that company almost went out of business because everybody's like, internet for $5? Well,
look at the Google Fi phones.
Sure.
Like the Google Fi plans down in America.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Because it's not that Google wants to make money at that point. They want to push technology.
They want to improve people's lives.
Yes, they want to improve the user experience and at the same time get your information.
Yeah, if you think about it, everything's getting...
And at this point, it's like everybody's getting my info.
If Black Mirror has taught me anything, your information's already everywhere.
Right. You're screwed. Like, if you've talked out loud in a public place...
Big Ben.
We know. Like,
we're
and
terrible.
Again,
we're bad examples of this.
We're horrible examples of this. Because
I don't want to give any example.
Dude, there's a Google speaker right there that's listening.
Oh, I know.
It's actually funny. Those aren't allowed at my workplace because
I can see that.
It can hear what people are saying, and I'm like, but this can hear what people are saying.
It's no different. It's already telling me what music.
Muffled.
It's already telling me what music's playing.
You can't make out what I'm saying.
You think that?
It's already telling me what music is playing just by proxy. So it's like what?
I had to laugh today, so this is what I did. I got one of those Google Nest home screen things for the house. Basically because it now controls anything that's all the Wi-Fi stuff, like the outlets and the lights and all that jazz. So my wife stops flicking random light switches to try and make things work. It is now like in one zoned area with a screen.
All right.
So it's like, I need the backlight on, done. Because before, all you hear in the morning is like, and of course the light takes 2 seconds to come on. So all you just hear like light switches flicking. Now it's just like, boop.
I mean, you can control it on your phone too.
You can, but there's like enough menus to go through where it's just enough of a pain. Because she doesn't do the voice activated stuff. Like I can legitimately just go turn on the lights and the light turns on.
Yeah.
That's what I do. She doesn't play that game.
Mm-hmm.
So for us now, it's just swipe down, hit button. But I'm like, let's see how good the speaker is on this thing. So I hit go on my Google Play Music. It showed me the lyrics as the song was going, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like it displayed the lyrics as the song.
Like
and
karaoke.
Like, I can sing now? I already knew all the words, but I'm like, ooh! So I pulled the chair up and watched it for like 5 songs because I'm like, doesn't work for all songs.
Yeah.
But either way, it was doing its thing. But it was playing the song that I had asked it to play, and then still my phone goes, "This is the song that's playing right now," and I'm like, no way.
Mm-hmm.
The song that's on my Google Play Music, which had its own like notification thing on. It's like, you're playing this by Panic at the Disco, Ballad of Mona Lisa or whatever was playing. And then on the bottom of my thing, it goes, the Ballad of Mona Lisa is playing by Panic at the Disco. And I'm like, Dadoy phone, Dadoy. I'm the one playing it.
It's over-mining itself.
Yeah, but it was just funny because, these things are always listening. So we're already giving everybody our info.
It's very... Once people start understanding that Black Mirror is just coming to real life...
Yeah, it's already here.
Yeah.
That's not my issue.
No, it's never my issue. That's why I always laugh when people are like, my privacy, and I'm like, is already invaded.
See, again, the plot twist is all those surveys, I just don't give them the right answer. That's how they don't know my shopping habits. It's just not the right answer. Okay.
Cool.
So Google Stadia, it's
something that
it's exciting.
I am intrigued by, and I'm watching, and it excites me because it pushes everybody else to do something cool.
It pushes, and hopefully they don't drop it.
And hopefully they don't drop it because then I can get in on it.
Yeah, and it does look like something exciting, but it's
cool.
Moving on.
Swampthing is a show on the DC Universe app.
Or
was
not entirely sure because episode 1 aired
and they canceled the show. And the funniest part is people are like, "Are we getting the rest of the episodes?" They filmed them, but there was no word. Like usually it's like, we've canceled it. You're still gonna get your 7 more episodes, and then we're done. This one was like, it's canceled, and everybody's like, does that mean we don't get episode 2?
There are people that are legitimately, they subscribe to that service to watch.
And the reviews are coming in great.
Yeah.
So, the funny part to this was, I knew this was coming because they went from 13 episodes to 8 episodes, and we talked about that already.
Yeah.
And it was all because Time Warner is starting their own streaming app. And that essentially means the DC Universe app is...
It's going to be phased out.
Phased out and phased into this Time Warner app. So, Swamp Thing could have another life within this Time Warner thing. But apparently the other piece to this was wherever they filmed, the city they filmed in, was supposed to give them a massive tax break.
Yeah.
Someone at the city filed the paperwork wrong, so they only got like a quarter of that money.
Oh.
So this show that was supposed to cost them like $40 million to make cost them upwards of almost $70 million to make. So all of a sudden there's like an extra $30 million floating around that someone has to foot the bill for.
And so what's the problem now? They just don't want to put them out until...
I don't know.
Creative differences.
The creative differences might have come from them cutting the show down from 13 to 8 episodes, because all of a sudden if you've got a story fleshed out, you've got to cut back.
It's easier to add on to than it is to cut off.
Correct.
Because
you can add a subplot to...
Once you filmed it, it's hard to...
Yeah, edit down to... Especially 13 to 8 episodes. You're cutting 5 episodes. And if it's an hour long, that's 5 hours of content you got to cut. But, yeah.
I know how that feels.
Between the cost of the show...
You got that, didn't you?
Between the cost of the show...
Yeah, I got you.
I got it.
And they don't have dragon money to work with. So between the cost of the show, Time Warner starting their own streaming app, like this show was screwed right out of the gate, which sucks because apparently it's amazing.
Well, apparently I would think that they wouldn't want, or almost in a way don't want to release any more episodes, because then you got that whole... Maybe someone else is going to pick it up, or they'll get all that petition stuff going on.
Those petitions are always so hit and miss.
But the more you show it, the more people are going to want it more. So you only show the one episode.
No one listens to those petitions.
And here's the problem.
I'm not saying the fans will come
when
out.
they start clamoring.
And here's the problem.
The more episodes you show.
I get it.
And here's the problem. Like, Swamp Thing really isn't a household name right now. Not really. Not compared to like
Batman, I know.
Wonder Woman
I've seen him in one of the animated
DC
movies.
You have
Justice League Dark.
But he's a B league,
he's C level, man.
He's BC level.
He shows up at
DC level.
He shows up in the weird campy stuff.
Yeah, like he's not.
He's Constantine.
Yeah.
But the way
we'll put him in that. Yeah, I'll put him in that.
Constantine, yes, just because of Keanu Reeves' movie and the show and Legends of Tomorrow, he's gotten a little bit more popularity, but he is Constantine is along the same lines as the Swamp Thing, where it's.
But the average, you ask the average person. Oh yeah, I remember Constantine. Yeah, I remember that movie. I watched
exactly the movie.
I watched Legends of Tomorrow. I've seen him on there. I remember the TV show.
So
you tell them.
Yeah, they've built him up.
Yeah, but you talk to some average person. They're like, what's Swamp Thing?
He's an environmentalist, man.
Yeah, but why do I care about him?
Because he's awesome.
It's all about saving the Earth.
It's one of those things. So
you're saying he's Captain Planet?
Yes.
A weird, creepy version.
Of Captain Planet. But yeah, that's the pieces.
Like, it's just like, he's not out there enough.
And he could have been with the show because apparently, like I said, the reviews coming in from everywhere
it's not bad.
Are great, as opposed to, like, our new X-Men film that's coming out where,
reportedly the worst
X-Men film ever, which we thought we had.
Oh, man. I didn't know. I think that bar was that low.
Weird, apparently. And,
the whole...
Okay, it's set in the 92, but in...
Yeah,
if you go by the universe in 2000,
don't look into it.
Magneto gets real old real fast. Yeah, the 90s were really rough on Xavier.
Those drugs.
Don't look into it too much.
The X-Men factor is really weird.
Don't.
You listen to Jessica Chastain talk about her character, and they changed the name of her character about 3 or 4 times.
That was always supposed to be a mystery, though.
It was supposed to be a mystery, but it's not supposed to be a mystery to the actress. Like, she didn't...
Maybe they were worried she was going to leak something.
What? It's not like they were filming a wedding, all right, guys?
Yeah, Come on. That's her piece, is, like, they actually changed her character 3 or 4 times during the filming process.
And the fact that they had to reshoot the ending because it was too similar to another's...
Captain Marvel!
Space battle!
Yeah, unfortunately for X-Men fans, but cool for DC fans, where we were getting another stellar television show out of DC, and
DC's on the rise a little bit. Like lately,
they've always kind of had the TV though.
They've always owned TV, so that was the Pieces, like another great television show.
Like Titans is good. I like Titans.
I've heard good stuff.
I've heard great stuff about Titans. It's one of those.
The ending is weird, but Titans overall was good.
That's one of those summer shows where I'm like, once I'm off, I can, sit here and watch.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I love The Flash, I do think that show is on its last legs.
Well, it is, and that's because
it's like Arrow though.
Yeah. They CW'd them, and it got too much. Where it's because the first episode of the first season of
first two seasons or so of The Flash were just phenomenal.
But same with Arrow.
It was just him. Then you started adding another Flashes in there.
Right, they CW'd it where they're like, we need a crew, and you're like, no,
and now they need to be love interests with each other.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, please no.
Yeah.
Just put him with the Wally and no.
But their movies are starting to catch up, which is nice. Like Shazam is good, Aquaman was fun, Wonder Woman, the poster looks like.
I'm confused. I'm confused, but intrigued.
I'm intrigued.
Drugs.
Science.
The 80s or the drugs. 80s, 84, right?
80s, yeah.
1984.
I don't know why she gets a different armor though.
It's in the comics. Someone actually found that armor set in the comics. It's like right out of the comics.
No, but then it doesn't make sense why she would go back to her other ones in Justice League.
More comfortable.
Maybe
or this is a one-time like
my super armor, and I didn't pop it during the Justice League movie
because maybe it's a one-time use thing, and she's
easy to answer because they
or it gets destroyed.
Write it before.
Or
they didn't plan it.
Or it gets
They didn't plan it properly.
She's pulling on her super armor for Cheetah.
They didn't plan Justice League properly.
They didn't plan any of that properly.
But yeah, Wonder Woman
looks good. Like that's the thing. So Swampthing hopefully will get new legs once this Time Warner stuff takes off. But again, that's Time Warner.
I don't know.
I don't think so. But that's Time Warner has to start their own streaming service. They have to hope to God it's better than whatever Disney pumps out.
It won't be.
It won't be.
It won't be.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna be.
It looks really good right now. It's very appealing right now.
Disney's cornering this market, I'm telling you right now.
Disney's made it very appealing, price-wise and content-wise.
Yeah, they're going to destroy Netflix.
Yeah.
Because they're pulling all of their content off Netflix.
I think some stuff is going to stay on Netflix, from my understanding. I think some content has contractually has to stay on Netflix.
Has to.
All Jessica Jones.
Yeah, that stuff has to stay.
All the Defender stuff has to stay.
The Defender stuff has to stay.
And I think some of the movies have to stay. Like the way that they were. Yeah, I know. It's like some of the movies have to stay after a period of time.
All the Disney stuff, all the Avengers stuff, all that stuff.
That's not what I read.
Oh yeah, no, it's.
That's not right. Because I read something like if it was added at a certain time, it was on for.
Well, it's a contract.
Yeah. So after that contract ends, then they're gonna pull it. But it's not like Disney Plus and then off.
Yeah.
Like it's like Guardians 2 will still be on Netflix for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really expensive Band-Aid.
But again, the fact that...
I think Disney's fine with that.
Well, it was funny because I was talking to my coworker and I said something about Disney Plus and he goes, well, like, if we get it in Canada, I'm like, we're either supposed to or we're supposed to... It's going to attach itself to, like, Crave or however it's going to work.
We're getting it next year in its own...
Right, thing. And I'm like, we're getting it. And I'm like, but...
Just put it on the PlayStation.
And he's like, well, what's Hulu going to be? Because he was very confused.
Hulu's now 100% Disney.
Okay,
it's going to be 100% Disney.
Comcast still owns their part, but they've given control over to Disney.
No, I thought they were selling it to them.
They have the option to sell in 2023.
That's what it was. Okay.
Added, like, they've already set a price. Essentially, they're like...
They just can't sell it yet, right?
They can, but essentially the deal is this. In 2023, Disney, like, they have the option to sell, and if they sell, it sells for at least whatever the cost is, like, right now.
Yeah.
If Hulu's worth more by that time, they can ask for that. But, like, they've pretty much set a baseline price of, like, okay, by 2023, Disney, if you want it, it's going to cost you, like,
this
$1.3 billion, whatever it happens. Who cares about the price? But they've set that price. If it's worth more, then they can ask for more. But essentially, Disney has to pay them.
But Disney has complete control.
But they're like, yeah, Disney, do your thing, because...
We don't want to fight.
You do good stuff. We've
tried this. We've tried with you already.
And we'll make bank for 4 years with you guys doing all the work.
Yeah.
Like Comcast is going to do the same thing.
It's
Sony's
the reverse
doing
Sony. It's reverse Sony. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. But I said to my coworker, I'm like, well, they got all 30 seasons of The Simpsons launching with Disney Plus, and he goes, huh? because that was his thing, was like, what's Hulu going to be? And I'm like, more of the adult, live-action, mature stuff.
And Hulu still has some Marvel shows on it, right?
Yeah, it's going to get like the Ghost Rider.
It's got Cloak and Dagger right now.
Yeah, it's going to get the Ghost Rider show, essentially.
Runaways is Hulu?
I think Runaways is Hulu.
Cloak and Dagger is ABC
ABC
Family,
but
whatever they're calling ABC Family.
Yeah. Runaways is Hulu.
Yes.
Runaways is Hulu.
Yeah.
But that's the piece, is all of that stuff's going to move to Hulu. We're going to get the family-friendly-ish type stuff. I'm like, anything that's like Marvel-based in like the MCU that we know right now goes that direction.
And ultimately, when they do get the Defenders back, they can probably put the Punisher
and all of that stuff will go to Hulu. And he's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, think about it this way. Disney Plus is getting everything from like Cinderella to The Simpsons. Past that,
PG-13.
That's what I said. I'm like up to about PG-13, and I'm like, so
they own Family Guy now.
I know,
and that's probably going to go Hulu. Though.
And I would assume Family Guy goes Hulu. So that's the piece. Is like, that's what I said to him.
It depends, because I know Family Guy's changing.
They're changing some of the stuff, not all of it. It's still
but they're not
Family
making
Guy.
any more gay jokes.
I know.
They said they're not going.
But it's still Family Guy. Like,
I know.
But that's the piece. Like that's what I said to him, because Simpsons is a good cutoff line for that kind of stuff. Because there's like, it's still not exactly.
Simpsons is touch. It's not that touchy. Simpsons isn't that touchy.
No, but it's still one of those shows. Like as a kid, I couldn't watch The Simpsons because it was that tiny step up.
Oh, Simpsons was never an issue for me.
Nah, no, we couldn't. Simpsons was not a thing in the show.
It was Family Guy was a big one for me.
Family Guy was obviously like way off limits, because if The Simpsons was like touch and go, like if I watched The Simpsons at my friend's place, I didn't get in trouble. It just wasn't a show we watched in our house. So it's not like I was like, grounded if I watched The Simpsons. It was more, there's that fine line of it's right on that cusp sort of thing. So that's why I said, I'm like, Cinderella to The Simpsons, Disney Plus. Everything the other direction, Hulu. And he's like, but 30 seasons of The Simpsons? And I'm like, right out the gate. Huge. And he goes, for like $7 a month? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes,
I thought it was like 10 for us.
Yeah, it might be more for us.
Yeah. We don't know for us. But like right now with their pricing that they're showing, he's like, but for $7, like, who's not getting this? And I'm like, that's the piece, is you can now choose to pick whichever Simpsons episode you want to, like, you can watch The Simpsons.
You can watch episode 1
till essentially you croak. One a day till,
Yep. Why one a day?
Well, because that's the piece. Like, you could watch, you could watch one a day for.
I can't come to work
Lord knows
today.
How long. I'm still binging The Simpsons, and I haven't slept in 4 days.
And I'm only on season 3.
Energy drinks and coffee, peeing into bags.
Yeah, Gatorade bottles.
Catheter.
At least you can drink it.
Catheter, easier.
You can just drink the Gatorade at least.
Just don't move.
Oh, I gotta.
Catheter's easier though, because if you fall asleep by accident, you don't wake up with an accident.
Hopefully.
Like bags. It's taped to the bag. It's taped to my leg.
Taped the bag to your leg.
I can walk around.
That's a lot of bags.
A lot of bags. Either way, Swampthing canceled.
Sorry, Swampthing.
Sorry, you made a really good show to have it go nowhere.
I don't think it's coming back.
I don't think so. I think there's
no.
If I'm being honest, it's not the show that they really want to push. So.
And Time Warner's gonna, especially if it's gonna cost them $80 million this season, and and now they have to compete with Disney at in an American price point of like
as well as Netflix, to be
$7
honest, if you think about it too.
Sure, you still got to compete
and whatever
with
YouTube's doing too.
YouTube, from what I understand,
so there is YouTube Originals that you can pay for.
But as I'm understanding it, they're going to actually drop the subscription service for YouTube Originals, and they're going to go straight to advertising monetization.
Okay, so side note, have you guys use a YouTube app on your phone?
Yes.
Has there been like a 300% increase in ads?
Yes.
Or is it just me?
No.
Like there's way more ads
depending on the length of
lately.
the video, the more ads you're gonna get.
No. Like it's like straight up. Like if I'm scrolling down, like there's a full screen of ad. Like
click on Facebook.
Oh, like the as you're scrolling?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because they've added stories, which is a pain in my butt.
I don't really care about the stories that much.
But they're not even people I follow. Like they're just random. But like that's a section block that they've added.
And then there's like a giant ad.
Yep.
And then I'm just trying to. Yeah.
Music. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No,
okay. All right. It's not just me.
So essentially,
YouTube's got
what I find annoying with YouTube is because we turn it on at work for the kids there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because we're listening to kids songs.
Yep.
And then we'll stop. I know.
Like just loading up YouTube right now.
Oh, I know.
The first half of my screen is an ad.
Yeah. But then we'll stop, or we'll have our song going on, and then in the middle of it we have a 5-minute commercial on YouTube.
Yes.
And it's like,
I'm
away.
I'm scrolling down here. First 2 videos I might watch. Hey, another ad. Another 2 videos I might watch.
Yeah. Oh no, I know.
Another ad.
No, that part's.
Oh, now it's advertising YouTube movies.
No, thank you.
Which is basically just Google Movies.
Yeah. Oh, I know. The front page of Google's become.
I set it to dark mode.
Quite useless. Yeah, dark mode.
Dark mode, bro. Dark mode, bro.
I do like mode. The light mode.
But yeah, like there's just so much ads here now.
I know, but that's everything though.
And it has to be, because that's the pieces with ad blockers and people skipping ads and doing this and doing that. But yeah, apparently YouTube originals are going to be moving from, again, what I've heard from certain content creators,
with commercials
in between. So it's like, I'm like,
that's not, I don't mind.
I don't mind that, because I'm not paying for, and that's the pieces YouTube found that no one wants to pay for. YouTube Premium.
Really?
Because, and again, the problem is YouTube, which we're on, it's one of those pieces where no one's been paying for it, and now you're like, listen, pay for it. And everybody's like, why
they're shoving it into your face like, pay
for YouTube? And it's like, well, because we're going to make original content and we have to pay for it. So, like, if you give us money, we can make really cool shows. And everybody's like, yeah, but I've never paid for YouTube, so...
Yeah, it's not like Netflix. It's not like Netflix or Hulu.
That opened out of the gate with
pays.
Yeah, like you pay for it. YouTube's always been free. And that's the piece where I laugh with YouTube, because it's, again, owned by Google. Make Google original stuff and release that as a... But that's my piece, is release that in the Google Play Movies, or release that on YouTube as something that it's like, hey, here's this cool thing that Google paid for. Give us $5 for it. Give us $20 for it if it's a movie, like whatever it happens to be. Watch it, and it's like. No. So yeah, apparently Cobra Kai is still going to be a thing, but now we don't have to pay for it eventually.
Good.
Yeah,
I'd rather not pay for it.
Good.
Because that's the piece, is like, I almost subscribed to YouTube Premium because Game Grumps, who I watch, got a show produced by Dan Harmon called Good Game, where they become like pro gamers.
Okay.
And the first episode of all the YouTube Premium stuff is free. So I watched the first episode and I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. Like, I like this. And then I looked, and the show is like 2 years old already, has subsequently been canceled, and they only got 6 episodes. And I'm like, well, I'm not paying for this. Like, again,
I can just find it.
1, I could find it. 2, YouTube, you could make money off of me if you were legitimately like, hey, get the first season and only season of, Good Game for $10, whatever it happens to be, don't care. Charge me money for it. I'll just give you a solid non-subscription based set of money.
I already subscribed to so many things in my life.
But that's my piece, is like, it's a show. Can I pay for it? Like I'll give you legit, here is straight cash.
Nope.
Give me the show. No, subscribe. And I'm like, but then you're going to subscribe for a month. Or a week. I'm going to get the free trial or whatever you're giving me.
I'm going to watch the show.
I'm going to watch the show, and then I'm going to cancel my subscription, because it's the only show I really want to watch other than Cobra Kai, but I'm not going to stay subscribed for one show.
But then again, you can find all those things
on
pretty easily.
Somewhere.
Pretty easily. It's the internet.
That's why I was asked how to watch the NBA Finals right now online.
You read it.
So one of my friends from work texted me, because she has a thing going on Monday, so she's like,
is that Monday?
It could be the
last game.
One, yeah.
So she's like, is there a way I can watch it online? Like, you'd know. And I'm like, well, I don't know about NBA, because I don't watch basketball. Well, so I'm like, give me a sec. And because I thought she was talking about last night, she needed to watch the game. So I'm like, okay, let's get into research mode here quick. I spent all of 2 minutes, found the Reddit subreddit for NBA streams.
It's the same with hockey.
Yeah, NHL streams.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so I found the
insert sports streams. /insert sports streams.
So I found it, and I'm like, I found the site, and I'm like, but I'll tell you which site to go to Monday, because all those streaming sites change
daily.
All the time, because
by the minute
they have to avoid getting caught. So I'm like, I found it. I'll tell you what it is Monday, because
it's not going to work. If I tell you now, it's not going to work.
They'll release the address Monday. And she's like, okay. She's like, that was super quick. And I'm like, I'm pretty good at finding objects on the internet. It's really not hard if you know what you're looking for. So I just laughed, because
she's just going to a bar or something. I'm sure it will be on.
No. It's because she has a commitment already but there's breaks in the commitment, like she's doing a sporting thing.
Oh, okay.
So she's like, if I can watch the sporting thing during my sporting thing, that would be good.
That's so Inception-y.
Yeah.
I heard you like sports.
I heard you like
So I'll let you watch sports within your sports thing.
Yeah. Last bit of news, I guess, and we don't have a lot to say on this.
I can comment a little bit about this.
We all kind of can.
Speculate.
So the Russo brothers,
yes,
their next project,
they're pretty good,
is going to be a Netflix cartoon based off of the Magic. Yeah.
Now, is this through their own company?
Maybe.
Because they started their own company to make films.
Whether or not, I don't know if it's going to be their company. But they're basing off the Magic the Gathering card game.
Yes. Do we know the writers yet? Because they've also, for their company, hired McFeely and
probably
the two guys who have been writing all the Marvel stuff. Pretty much the Russos are like, so we're going to start our own company? You guys want in? And they're like, yeah.
They make enough money that they could start their own
Steven and Chris, right?
I think so.
I don't know their last names.
Either way, the Russo brothers are essentially attached to, a Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering show on Netflix. And so I don't know how this is going to pan out, especially for people who don't know much about Magic the Gathering.
That's not my issue.
That's not my issue. That takes one episode to introduce characters. Sure. Who cares?
It's the Planeswalker thing.
Yeah.
It's Planeswalker.
You just introduce Planeswalkers and we're good to go.
Yeah, my issue is it's animated.
It's animated, whatever.
And again, we'll see.
That's because when, as an example, I was excited for Castlevania.
Until it was anime?
And then I found out it was anime, and I'm like, no.
I heard it's really good.
I'm not doing this.
I heard Castlevania is real good.
I know, but it's one of the...
My wife watched it, and she loved it, and she didn't realize it was a Nintendo game, and she was like, oh, this is good.
But I understand if you... Yeah.
Give me a live action.
No. I don't think you can do live action with Magic the Gathering.
You don't know that.
You could, but it would have to be a full-budget film.
Yes.
Like, that's the piece.
The thing about Magic the Gathering is there's so much special effect. More than there was in Infinity War and in a game. If I were to be so bold to say, there's a lot of stuff happening in Magic the Gathering.
Do you need to do all those things?
Yes, you absolutely do. Especially when they do Planeswalkers, you're doing Nicobola stuff, which is like the dragon to end all things.
Right.
You've got
you things can talk about it.
You have things being summoned left, right, and center.
It's the summoning and the magic. Like
yeah,
the whole point of Magic is they're always using magic.
Everything's being summoned. Everything's being cast. There's a lot of special effects. That's what makes it a cartoon so much more easier to manage. And I think
I guess it depends on the animation style and all of that. Because I understand, like it's less appealing to me as an animated show. It's more appealing if they go with animation that matches the cards.
And see, I don't think you're going to get that because they have so many different artists all the time.
They do, but Magic is.
If you have the same style, then that's fine.
It's pretty congruent with most of the most of the cards you can look at and go like, oh yeah, this is Magic. It's not like some card game like when we played Versus. Versus cards were all over the board when it came to artists because it's comic books. Mm-hmm. So you have
I like the.
But you had all of.
I don't think
stuff.
that, and I think the art on the cards doesn't really translate well. But I think if they make it their own thing, I honestly think they could pull it off.
If they do an anime or something like that, I'm definitely.
It's not. I don't think it's going to be.
Anime. I don't think anime.
It'll be a regular cartoon like Disenchanted or Hilda.
Because if you look at the Planeswalkers,
don't do Disenchanted.
No, but like that's what I'm saying, like a cartoon, like
no, not animation.
Don't do anime.
That's specifically to like Simpsons, Futurama.
But I'm saying not anime. I'm listing every other animation.
See, and I would rather them stick to something that's more akin to if you look at the Planeswalker artwork, go in that direction with it.
If they can pull it off,
Spider-Man.
But I think that budget might
90s
be
90s Spider-Man.
No, they don't want.
Unless you really want to go for a very specific look and feel.
You're gonna anger a lot of people.
I'd be down for that actually.
I know.
I'm thinking about it now.
Not the 80s one. Not
all right.
Original one.
Here's
the 90s one.
Spider-Man.
Here's my.
Give me that one.
Yeah.
Here's my.
I'd be down for that.
Okay, I'm in.
No, here's my
Captain Planet.
Here's my suggestion.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Go old 90s cartoons.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
That animation.
I could feel that.
Here's my suggestion.
Maybe a little 3D-ish.
It's actually just the Russo brothers and the Chris and Marcus. They're actually playing a game of Magic. And every episode is a different game.
Sitting at a table talking.
And then it changes into their game that they're playing.
Good.
That would be like every episode.
Like Dan Harmon.
Sure, like that'd be a great way to get guests.
Yeah.
Just to have like for an episode, like, all right, let's do this.
That kind of goes along the lines of the show that I watched on Netflix. That we'll talk about later. But yeah, they could do something
crazy. Because then like that would make it a little bit easier for storytelling, as in they could.
In all honesty, I'm surprised it hasn't really been done. But like. D&D or something like that coming out with a show where it starts off with people doing the actual game, but it goes into animated sequences of things happening.
Wizards is very particular with their property.
I know.
So but they own D&D now.
I know,
which is crazy to think that, but
because that's the piece. Like for me, D&D is such a cool game or Pathfinder, whatever you want it. Like one of those role playing games.
Yeah.
I think it would be really cool because we do get those YouTube shows or the podcasts of people playing, like audio only or video sometimes of people playing. Like Harmon does it. Dan Harmon with Harmontown, like they've done D&D episodes.
Do you remember Borderlands 2 had a DLC, Tiny Tina's Dungeon or something like that? Yeah. And it was just Borderlands 2, but they're all playing D&D. It was great.
But it's the piece is like I would totally be down for watching a bunch of
where it breaks the fourth wall.
Semi-famous people playing D&D, and then it breaks into an animated sequence of whatever's going on.
Semi-famous people, just have it a bunch of friends playing the game, and they have their own kind of story going on background, but what you're focused on is the animation.
Yeah. So what you're saying is like take Stranger Things, but instead of like outside demons, it's the demons on the board, and it's just the kids playing on the board.
And you can still hear their voices every once in a while cut in and go, no.
Yeah. Whoa.
You can't do that.
And then just it's pauses.
The Dungeon Master, all of a sudden
it's a record scratch.
Rewinds.
It's a record scratch.
Yeah. Well, because again, that's how D&D works.
Like
that's how any of the RPGs work. Is like, I want to do this, and the Dungeon Master's like, no. Or again, those failed roles would be really funny in an animated show.
Exactly.
The problem and
Magic the Gathering, you can totally do that.
And again,
Magic the Gathering game works. So
any basic card game, you put your
cards.
You put your
Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah, almost
very similar. Yeah. Very similar. Surprisingly.
Well, because Magic was one of those original-esque type card games
where it's fantasy-esque card game.
You put your land down instead of mana and or other trap cards. It's your resource card.
It's your resource cards.
You have so many resource cards. You can play
a spell.
Which can be a creature or like
an enchantment
or whatever. There's trap cards, like the whole 9 yards. Every other card game has subsequently stolen something from Magic.
Yeah.
And Magic, over the years, has subsequently stolen things from other card games when they become popular enough. But if you can play Versus, you can play Magic.
So yeah, if you that idea.
Magic is it's the godfather of a lot of card games.
Oh, yeah.
It really is.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, and that's that piece where you like...
That's how you get me in. You do it that style with a 90s
I love that.
With maybe a 3D touch.
Who knows?
I'd love it.
I'd like to see what they do.
I want to see what they do.
I'm just excited. I'm just excited for the fact that A, they're on another project, and B, that Wizards of the Coast is pulling back a little bit and being like, go do something with Magic, because we haven't really seen anything with MTG since ever.
Yeah.
Like, they only do books and comics, basically.
Books, comics, and the
Figures,
legitimate maybe? Card game that, like, they release every year on Steam with the updated, like...
An actual story in the card game?
Sort of?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah,
kind of.
In the card game, there's
a story.
They're always... Do you like Jace? Yes.
Great.
This set has now 3 Jace cards. Fuck.
Super, yeah, like, woo!
Great. It's either like, great, my wallet's dead, or great, it's Jace.
Yeah, exactly. And I gotta keep buying them to keep up with whatever.
Yes,
exactly.
So yeah, I'm excited one way or the other.
Yep.
I'm looking forward.
I'll be interested once I see what their animation style stuff is, because it's actually really funny. I think it's College Humor because they've expanded so much from what they used to do, but they have their own role playing game that they've been doing, and they got the budget to set up like a tabletop.
Yeah.
Like 3 of these tables put together, and they all sit around, and there's actual like pieces that are standing up and doing the whole 9 yards and all of that jazz. And it's like, that's cool. But again, like, I think back to some of the stuff I've done with like you before or with Graham, where I would love to see someone act it out or animate or do something to that effect.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, I think that's a cool way of doing it. Because listening and watching people play is one thing. Seeing little pieces go by as you're doing it can be a whole other realm of possibilities for a show.
We have shows. We could do shows.
And it organically writes itself, which is the fun part.
Yeah.
Because
we acted out.
The people are doing, then you just need to make sure whoever's at your table can at least do a voice of at least one,
right,
for their character. and then someone
in their own voice.
Well, but that's what I mean. Like, one person can speak in their own voice, but you need someone at the table that can be like the goblin that's on, like, yeah. You need enough other voices just to make sure you're covering all the bases, and you have to make sure everybody's down to do that kind of stuff. But
you need to be people who are really good at improv.
And again, you need people who have played D&D, know what they're doing, all of that jazz. Because again, I've played role-playing games with people who have never played and don't know about them, who play as themselves instead of their character. And it's
boring and tough.
It can be tough, and that's that piece where two of us, because I am that chaotic type person.
I know. The other day, I just tripped some goblin going down the stairs because I saw him fumbling.
But that's the piece. It's like, because it was fun. I'm that chaotic type guy who's like, I want a boat. And we have a boat. And I convinced the guy next to me, again, not through rolling, but again, through that just outside of the realm of game, like, we should totally take this boat. And he's like,
it's yours.
We should take this boat.
Yes.
And we start taking the boat, and then the person on the other side of the table freaks out a bit because it's like, well, why are we taking this? What are you guys doing? Da-da-da-da. But not in character. Because in character, she could have legitimately slit our throats and we would have been done. Or she was a rogue type character, so she could have done something to put us to sleep or done this. And finally, and again, that's where Graham was really good at this piece, was like, she's yelling like that at us. And he goes, she can, like, hold on, like, and then he tells her to roll her dice, and she rolls, Lord knows, like a perfect roll. And he's like, her yelling and screaming convinces you not to, like, he's trying to bring the character back in, when really it's just her panicking as herself. And it's like,
no,
that can't be. Like, you got to play as
it's RPG.
Guy. It's RPG, and it's tough to get into if you're not into it, but if you get the right people, then like, again, I'm playing a dwarf who peed on things, because that was just him. Like, he worked out of...
It's Nick's ambitions coming out.
It's really just... it's what I really want in life. But, like...
Do you not?
My dwarf...
on things?
Again, my dwarf, I'm sitting there, and it's like... I started very basic cookie cutter, sort of. I was a noble, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And because I'd fallen on hard times, I had lived all of, like, for a subsequent amount of months... It's like I'd just given up on life, so I got a job at a brothel, and not as like a waiter or a bartender, but legitimately one of the like people that got paid to sleep with other people.
Yeah.
But that was my choice, and that was where Graham's just looking at me like, "You want to what?" And I'm like,
"Yes,
I wanna. This is my shtick. I'm,
What's so hard to realize?
I can't get it any other way, and I used to get it all the time because I was a noble.
Yeah.
This is the one thing I know I can do.
You sound like Tyrion Lannister from my limited watching of Game of Thrones.
But that's my piece, is like, I'm just like...
You're not allowed to reference if you haven't watched.
Yeah,
I watched season 1.
I will sell
season 1.
I will sell my body for...
Yes.
I will sell my body for money.
Yeah.
So, he doesn't ever sell his body for money.
I don't know what I mean.
He actually gives them up.
But that's right, yeah.
All right.
Like I say...
You got me.
Like I say, D&D does lend itself to an organic storytelling, whereas Magic, the story's there, now they just have to translate it to screen.
Yeah. With Magic, there's a lot of backstory behind all
the characters. It's already there. It's like if you did
it's at years and years and years and years.
It's like doing a Warcraft movie. If only there was stuff written already.
Do you really want to take some of that stuff, though?
What?
The written stuff.
Sure, because it's...
Magic the Gathering.
Oh, Warcraft.
Oh, Warcraft? Oh.
Yeah, I'd take a lot of... Again, depends on what you're choosing to do for a movie, but...
Yeah.
Coming through the Dark Portal. Go with the basic story.
Oh,
if only they would have stuck to it like it was originally done in the game.
Oh, baby. All right.
But like something like Magic, or something like Legend of Drizzt, I would love to see done live action. That has to be live action. I would want to see that live action.
I think Drizzt, because you can do that live action.
You could totally do that. Like, that's something in my brain where
but
you have
Magic too.
I know, but you have to get the right group of people working on that show who are not just going to make another fantasy-based show.
But the thing is, like, with Drizzt, it's like, it's the story of him. Yeah. Like, with Magic, there's no one main person you're following. Because there's so many different characters that people are favorites. People love Lily Andrews. People love Jace. People love...
And maybe you just do a season of each, or you pick one and go.
For the first 3 seasons of Drizzt, it's Magic.
Yeah, but like...
The first 3 books.
But that's what I'm saying.
But like, you're focused on one person.
You still
Magic the Gathering.
The Magic kind of goes the way. But
in Magic the Gathering, like, there's never one person that's like, I'm the best. I am the the hero. Yeah. They're all bad.
Oh no! If we're doing a Dritz movie, we're going I'm going movie and I'm going big budget. I'm not doing a TV show.
You just have to have a bunch of movies lined up.
Oh no, 28.
28 movies later. Okay, they're Marvel.
Easy. I only made it through 4 books. So I don't.
Oh no, he fights orcs, and then 100 years pass at some point.
Easy another Disney. It's just pins, little strings.
And then the spin-offs, because you can Jarlaxle gets his own storylines, and oh my god, he's one of the best dark elves ever in that series. You want to see
another dark elf that turns good?
Chaotic neutral. Jarlaxle's one of my favorite characters because he is that chaotic neutral character where he's out for himself, and whoever he has to screw over to get there, he does. And then he meets, I'm not sure if you ever ran into Artemis Entreri or whatever his name is in the Dritz books. He's the other assassin.
No.
They have really good sword fights between Dritz and this other guy. But Jarlaxle meets him and he's like, "You're kind of a douche. We could work well together." And they go on their own separate adventure for 3 books. That's an offshoot from the Dritz series. And I'm like, oh my god, this is so amazing.
The last one I read was there was a barbarian kid that they raised and turned good.
Yeah.
And the dwarf.
Wolfgar.
Yeah, who raised that barbarian kid. And now they're off doing something else.
Yep, and then they become a unit for a very long time. And then Salvatore gets bored and goes all George R.R. Martin and starts
kill
in the most depressing ways ever because I'm oh no, because again there's 20 books and all of a sudden this character's dead and you're going
okay, so 20 books I'm safe. I'm good.
You're not, but that's okay. And I haven't read that series for a long time. I have a backlog of those books, but
me too.
Yeah, there's a whole set of he goes to war with orcs and all of this jazz.
Oh yeah, this last one was a demon.
Yeah, but you could set up honestly 3 books into one movie because that's kind of how he writes them. It would work because a lot of
you're stretching it then.
28 movies later.
Yeah, I'm not doing 28 movies because the
no, I'm not saying a book per movie.
The Orc War,
14 movies.
That Orc Fight War could be 1 movie, but it's 3 books.
I'm thinking I'm going off the first one, the books I know.
The first book would probably the number 1 canonically now, because the first book was actually the 4th book.
What?
He wrote so when Dritz emerges from the Underdark, is actually
that was the 3rd one.
Whatever, that's the first book that he wrote. And
so
then he did
backstory.
Then he did a prequel kind of, He did the prequel movie.
But when they published them, they're 1, 2, 3.
So now when they've re-put them out after all these years, they're like, this is the first book because
Star Wars did.
If you read 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, no. You're like, what?
No.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work. So either way.
Anyways, moving on to
that's a show I want other than magic, but I'll take a magic show, I guess.
I'll take it. Thanks for joining us on today's
NewsCast.
Join
us for the post-credit show. We're talking about
movies,
games,
and other things that we've done, and everything else in between.
Yes, give us 5 minutes to combobulate our squirrels or hamsters or wherever they are this week. Our rodents.
We'll pet the spider.
Yeah, and he'll do all the work for us. So join us then.
Bye.
Bye.